Hello, in this video I'm going to share with you hand hooping. This is a very basic, very beginner movement, and it's fantastic for allowing you to transition into other movements and getting acquainted with having your hoop off your body and rotating around your arms. So in this case, I'm really focusing on keeping the hoop on your hand as opposed to spinning it on your arm. I don't doubt that that's really simple and really easy to keep it on your arm, but it's really limiting as well. So having it on your hand allows you the options for changing direction and transitioning the hoop into other movements, say like chest rolls and things like that. So first thing you'll note is the hoop that I'm using today is a kid's hoop. This one here is a lot lighter than the adult beginner hoop, so it's going to give you a bit more control and put less pressure on your hand, especially while learning. So the nice thing about these ones is they don't kink, they don't break, they don't lose shape. They're really built to last. So it's fantastic to have for all ages, and yeah, really versatile. So next thing we want to do is get the hand position down. Now, it seems a little strange, but what you're going to do is have your fingers tight together and your thumb pointed up. This is a little bit uncomfortable for your fingers as we don't naturally hold our hand in such a way, but really focusing on bringing those fingers tight together. What this does is it creates a flat edge on the bottom, a flat edge on the top, and you're able to create a straight line from your middle finger to your elbow. So the movement is not going to be a circle, and it's not going to be side to side, but rather up and down, just like you're shaking hands. This movement up and down will keep the hoop in motion. The movement is coming strictly from my elbow, so it's not a limp and wiggly wrist, it's just my arm moving up and down. You'll also notice that my arm is closer to my body. I don't have it extended way out in front, as that puts a bit more stress on your neck and shoulders, and you'll lose control of your hoop a lot easier. So having it in at your side is the best. It's going to give you the most control over your hoop. I almost promise you won't bump yourself in the nose, but it is a possibility. I like to say you're not a true hula hooper until you've been hit in the head with the hula hoop. So something to look forward to. So having that hand closer to your body will definitely give you more control. The other thing to take notice of is my thumb is either pointed up to the ceiling or tipped a little bit more towards my nose. This creates a bit of a V shape on my hand where the hoop is going to rotate within. If my thumb goes down and in the way, it'll either stop the hoop or immediately the hoop will transfer onto my arm wrist area. So keeping that thumb pointed towards myself keeps the hoop on my hand. Now to get the hoop started, we have options. If you start with the hoop just on your hand like this, in that position, thumb pointed up, fingers tight together, you're going to begin to swing side to side, getting the momentum started, and then making a big sweeping motion and coming back to that center position. You'll notice that my elbow is in at my side, my fingers are pointed or straight forward, my thumb is pointed up to the ceiling. Now wherever your hand is pointed is where the hoop is going to be perpendicular to. So if you choose a wall, you want the hoop to remain parallel to the wall in front of you. And again, the movement is strictly up and down, up and down. There's a couple of options for getting the hoop started as well. That was the one where we began to sway the hoop and just using that momentum. The other option is to grip tight, holding onto the 6 o'clock of your hoop, and your palm is on the down and on the inside of the hoop. Here you'll allow it to either sway one way or the other, and allow it to kind of drop in a roll, opening up your hand, thumb pointed up, fingers tight together. So it transfers that momentum nice and smooth. Lastly, the other option is tell that hoop where to go and how to get there. Gripping really tight and give it a little toss, a little flick, and opening up your hand, sending the hoop around. Once you're comfortable with this, give yourself a few challenges to grip your hoop and transfer the momentum in the other direction. And again, gripping and transferring. You'll notice when I'm gripping my hoop, I'm letting my hand kind of sway and turn with it, as opposed to it just being a really hard stop. This can be a bit difficult, especially as you're building up the strength with your hoop. And also, depending on the size of your hoop, that could be a little bit more tricky. So really just moving with the momentum of the hoop, transferring the movement. Now, with that hoop spinning around your dominant hand, this is considerably easier than, say, your non-dominant hand, or as I like to put it, my second favorite hand. So with this, we know something about our hoop. It always wants to sail around one singular point. So that singular point right now is my dominant hand. If I take my left hand, thumb pointed up, fingers tight together, and place it right in beside, I can remove my dominant hand and it remains on my left hand. Remembering, thumb pointed up, fingers tight together, in an up and down motion, keeping my elbow tucked in. And same with this hand, you can squeeze to change direction, squeeze and change direction, placing in the other hand, and back and forth. When it comes to hand switches, go for it. You're gonna learn heaps by just trying. There is a 5% chance you'll do this. It's not very likely. You're more likely to put your hand on the inside and transfer. And you've had a lifetime to figure out where your hands are, so you don't even have to look. Trust your instincts on this, and you'll do just fine. Nice. You'll notice that the hoop is either sailing counterclockwise or clockwise on your hand. In this case, my hoop is going counterclockwise, so you have another option with this. The hoop is going towards my free and available hand, so I can actually do a little toss, making it go over to my other hand. It's still traveling in the same direction, so if I were to release my hand here, it's going to continue in that direction. So here you can change and send it to the other hand, making the toss. Easiest way to catch a hula hoop, stick your arm inside. Now, if your hoop is still going the opposite direction and you want to try a toss, instead of just removing your hand, you're actually going to do a point and placing in your opposite hand. That pointing upwards sends the hoop wherever you've pointed. This can be fun for extra high tosses and continuous tosses. My ceilings are a little low, so I won't do that. But having that upwards point and placing your hand on the inside. For making the catch, you want to kind of move down with the hoop. That way it kind of slows the momentum instead of it being really jarring and smacking on your hand. Lastly, if you notice that the back of your hand is getting really tender or sore, you can tilt your palm more to the ceiling, so when the hoop is landing in your hand, it's in the meaty, fleshy portion, as opposed to palm down where the hoop is landing on the bones on the back. Other thing to note, if you're going really, really fast, it's going to put more pressure on your hand no matter which way you're going. So really, go slow with this. You can play around with speeds being really obnoxious slow, or just find a happy medium pace that's good for you. Well done, you now have hand hula hooping. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. Do subscribe, as I'm going to be uploading weekly videos Tuesdays, Tutorial Tuesdays, why not? Thanks so much, and happy hooping. Bye.